life surrounded by music, to her rise to stardom from her iconic performances, to her personal struggles and enduring legacy. This is the inspiring and heartbreaking tale of one of the greatest vocalists of our time, the one and only Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Hi, I'm your host, and you're watching this channel. Join me as we look back at the life and times of the amazing Whitney Houston. On August 9, 1963, in Newark, New Jersey, Whitney Houston was born into a family where music was everything. Her mother, Cissy Houston, was an acclaimed gospel and R&B singer who had been part of the famous gospel group The Sweet Inspirations. Her father, John Russell Houston, was a musician and executive. Whitney's mother was also the sister of gospel singer and actress Dionne Warwick and Dee Warwick, both of whom had hit records in the 1960s, so you could say that singing was in Whitney's blood. As a child, Whitney would often accompany her mother to live shows and rehearsals. The house was always filled with music. As Whitney once recalled, "Music has always been there. I started out singing in the church choir, and I learned how to control my voice in the church choir. If you can sing in the church, you can sing anywhere." And Whitney's voice was extraordinary from the start, powerful, pure, and soaring. When she was just 11 years old, she stunned Aretha Franklin during a performance, and the Queen of Soul herself went backstage to tell Whitney that she was going to be a star. By the time Whitney was a teenager, she was already a sought-after performer. She modeled, appearing on the cover of magazines like 17. At 14, she was discovered by a talent scout while performing at a local theater production, and soon found herself in the studio recording jingles for commercials. But Whitney's real dream was to become a solo artist. After graduating high school, Whitney moved to New York City and began taking singing lessons from renowned vocal coach Ron Anderson. Under his guidance, Whitney honed her craft, working on breathing techniques and vocal exercises. It was here that she really developed the skills that would make her one of the greatest vocalists of all time. In 1983, at the age of 19, Whitney Houston's talent finally got its big break when she was signed by Arista Records. The legendary record executive Clive Davis, who had previously worked with Alicia Bridges and Laura Branigan, was immediately drawn to Whitney's unique sound. He saw the potential for greatness and knew that he wanted to work with her. Davis's instincts were spot on. Whitney's self-titled debut album, released in 1985, became one of the best-selling albums of all time, selling over 25 million copies worldwide. The lead single, You Give Good Love, reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and set the tone for the rest of the album. With its powerful vocals and infectious beats, the album showcased Whitney's incredible range and power, and established her as a major force in the music industry. It earned her a Grammy Award for Best New Artist, and launched her into superstardom. But Whitney wasn't done yet. Her second album, Whitney, released 2 years later in 1987, was an even bigger success. It debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart, becoming the first album by a female artist to do so. And it went on to sell over 30 million copies worldwide. Whitney became the first woman to have her first 4 singles from a new album reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. That's right, not just one, not just 2, but 4 #1 singles in a row. I Want to Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, How Will I Know, So Emotional, and Where Do Broken Hearts Go? Each one was a testament to Whitney's incredible voice and the songwriting and production of the album. Whitney's voice was truly unmatched. She brought a gospel power to pop music that was both thrilling and moving. Her ballads were soulful and heartbreaking. Her anthems were uplifting and inspiring. And her range was simply astonishing. Whitney's voice could soar to incredible heights, hitting notes that seemed impossible for any human voice to reach. It was clear that Whitney was a once-in-a-generation talent, a vocalist who would go down in history as one of the greats. With her second album, Whitney solidified her status as a superstar and set the stage for what would be an incredible career. The year 1992 was a big one for Whitney Houston. She released her third studio album, I'm Your Baby Tonight, which showcased a more mature and sophisticated sound. But it was her foray into film that truly captured the world's attention. Whitney starred alongside Kevin Costner in the blockbuster movie The Bodyguard. The film's soundtrack was one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time, and featured Whitney's iconic rendition of Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You. The song became a worldwide sensation, topping charts around the globe and cementing Whitney's status as a true superstar. But behind the scenes, Whitney's personal life was in turmoil. Just months before the release of The Bodyguard, she married singer Bobby Brown. The relationship was a tumultuous one, marred by tabloid scandals, substance abuse, and personal battles. Despite the challenges in their relationship, Whitney poured her heart and soul into her performances, captivating audiences with her stunning vocals and electrifying stage presence. She continued to release music, including the hit singles I'm Every Woman, I Will Always Love You, and I Have Nothing, all of which showcased her incredible vocal talent. Throughout her career, Whitney used her platform to speak out against racism and homophobia, and to advocate for those who were marginalized or misunderstood. She was a true humanitarian who used her fame and fortune to help others. Unfortunately, Whitney's struggles with addiction and personal demons continued to escalate, leading to canceled tour dates and a growing rift between her and her management team. Her fourth studio album, My Love Is Your Love, released in 1998, marked a departure from her previous work with a more urban and hip-hop influenced sound. Despite its commercial success, the album was a critical disappointment for some who felt that Whitney had lost her voice. However, the album did feature the hit singles It's Not Right, But It's Okay and Heartbreak Hotel, which showcased her incredible vocal range and power. Throughout the late 1990s and early 2000s, Whitney's health continued to deteriorate as her substance use became more frequent and severe. This, combined with the stress of her personal life, caused her voice to suffer. Her live performances became increasingly erratic, and she began canceling concerts due to illness or no-show. In 2009, Whitney made a comeback of sorts with the release of her seventh studio album, I Look to You. The album was a critical and commercial success, topping charts around the world and showcasing a more mature and introspective side of Whitney. The title track, I Look to You, became an instant classic and is now considered one of her signature songs. Despite the success of her latest album, Whitney's health continued to decline, and she ultimately canceled her tour in support of the album. She made a final public appearance at the 2012 Grammy Awards, where she performed I Will Always Love You, in what would be one of her last public performances. On February 11, 2012, Whitney Houston was found unresponsive in her hotel room at the age of 48. Her death was a shock to the world and sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. The news of her passing spread quickly, and fans gathered outside her hotel in memoriam. An investigation into her death revealed that it was the result of accidental drowning, with heart disease and cocaine use contributing factors. In the years since Whitney's passing, her legacy has only grown. Her music continues to be loved and celebrated by fans around the world, and she is remembered as one of the greatest vocalists of all time. Her impact on the music industry is immeasurable, and she continues to inspire young artists today. Whitney's story is a reminder of the power of talent and hard work, but it's also a cautionary tale of the dangers of addiction and the importance of seeking help when it's needed. Whitney's voice may be gone, but her music and her memory live on. What do you think about Whitney's life? What are your favorite songs of hers? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get more stories like this. Thanks for watching.